Hello, everybody. This is JR. Can you hear me? If so, put a little comment in there. You can stick it in the question box. I want to make sure that everybody can hear me. Hey, Mohammed, how are you doing? I see John there. We have got a packed house today. I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with you guys, man. You're kicking butt. Hey, on the call today, we've also got Jessica, who's going to yell because she's a long ways from the microphone.
Hey, everybody.
Can you hear Jessica? So just say hello. Loud and clear, John says. Cool, cool. Hey, Jane, how you doing? And we've got Alex. Alex, you want to say hello to everybody?
Yeah, hey everyone. Can you hear me fine?
A little bit soft, Alex. I don't know. Can you guys hear Alex? Everybody's saying, let's do it. Bradley says he can hear you. Hey, Connor, how you doing? Tracy. Oh, my gosh, man, there's a ton of people here. Bradley, how you doing, man? All right, cool. So we're going to hit on some questions today. And, you know, I did a video yesterday because somebody was saying, what's the call going to be about? And I don't know. It's what you guys want, okay? So we're not going to do, I mean, we're going to have a plan, obviously, but we don't want to have an agenda where we're covering things that don't match what you want. And you people that signed up for this call, which there is a ton of you, but you guys who signed up for this call, we want to cover the stuff that you want because you came here. You took time out of your day. You know, you spent some time. So I want to start getting through some of these questions. And I know John got in here early. Hey, John. And he had a couple questions. So I want to hit on a couple of those. The first question he had is about the general store. Now, we're going to call that a mixed store just so we don't get confused, all right, just so we stick with that word. Not that that's an official word, but we're going to call it a mixed store. And his question about that was is that to test out niche products? And you are so right. Yes, it is. The purpose of that one is for you to grab a few products and stick them in there and try them out. And then the winners, what we're going to do on down the road is make niche products. So basically the way it's going to go today is you guys are going to hit me with some questions. Plus, a lot of you have sent me questions at support@Digital Cash Academy. And do us a favor, too. When you're sending those questions, if they are for the webinar, put webinar questions because we get questions all day long, and I don't want to be, you know, like answering stuff that has nothing to do with the webinar in the actual webinar. So if it's a webinar question, if you would just put, you know, webinar question. Let's see here. So what else we got here? You guys can hit me with some, and I've got some written down here also. So let's see here. I'm going to scan through some of these. Great community, Mohammed says. We appreciate that. There are some really cool people, aren't there? You know, that's awesome. I love that. Jessica, you got a couple questions you could hit me with over there? She's got a big list of them, and we can't get through all of them, obviously, but we're going to get through some of the ones that are the most frequent ones. So what are you seeing over there, Jessica?
All right. So we got a couple of questions emailed to us, which is great. And the first one, if I can pull it up. Okay, so everybody on this call, I guess we're going to assume, has at least started Module 2 because we know everybody was so excited and wanting to get it early, which we were able to get to you early, fortunately. And so we're going to assume that you've at least started Module 2. So you've probably been on the Aliexpress website and started looking at products. So this is what this question is about. That's why I had that little intro. So on the Aliexpress website, occasionally you will see products that have a discount on them, but they only have certain days remaining that discount is going to be applied. And the question is that if there's a discount for a limited number of days, do we ignore that because it's a fake incentive? Do we not choose the product because the price will change? Can you explain that a little bit better?
Man, that's a great question. It really is, because when you get into AliExpress, you're going to notice that some of these vendors will have specials, and that product's, you know, 10% cheaper, or, you know, 15% cheaper, whatever it is, and it'll say for the next 3 days. And the question, I think, is kind of saying, well, gee, if I put it in there at a discount and the price goes up, is that going to mess me up? And the answer is no, because what you're going to do is you're going to integrate that particular vendor with your store. And when you do that, any changes made in that product will make a change in your store. So let me give you an example. Let's say we pick a product that sells for, you know, $5, And in our software, we can set it to mark it up 300%, okay? And when we mark it up 300%, that's exactly the price that we're going to be showing. When that product, let's say, goes up to $7.50, then it's going to mark it up 300% of $7.50. So it will, you know, take care of that for you. Now, the only thing you want to be careful for is, although it updates, you know, your store and it watches the inventory, does all those great things, if you put a price in your actual ad on Facebook, that would need to be changed. So you want to be real careful about that. Other questions you got there, Jessica?
Oh boy, yes. Okay, so another question, again regarding products on AliExpress, is why don't we just sell the best sellers, assuming they fit the criteria? What are the pros and cons?
Well, you know, the best sellers are not a bad idea, but there's more to it than that. There's a whole lot of different things you got to look at. You actually have to look at Google Trends. You know, is that a trending thing? Because, you know, a bestseller not too long ago was fidget spinners. Everybody remember that? How quickly did that go away? Or the pet rock, or whatever you want to pick. You know, these things come and go so darn fast. And I'm also getting more questions here in the comments. Somebody was asking about the Ad Spy tool. I don't see a link or training for that tool. No, you don't, because we haven't gotten to that step yet. Now, what's going to happen is, you know, we're kind of taking like a garden hose approach in the beginning. And what I mean by that is we're feeding you water with a garden hose. But what's going to happen is there's going to be more and more and more information. Pretty soon it's going to turn into a fire hose, okay? So you can kind of imagine that much information coming at you. So what we try to do is when you hit these modules, then we're going to have training on those particular things. Like right now, you don't really need the Ad Spy tool, so we don't provide the training on it yet. You can certainly play around with it. That's not a problem. But we haven't quite got to that step yet, so that's why we don't have that. What other questions you got on your side over there, Jessica?
Okay, so I've got another question from Module 2, talking about free shipping outside of the U.S. And she wants you to elaborate more on that, but she's specifically saying, so in the United States, we're looking for e-packet, and this is again on AliExpress. But for instance, in the UK, should they look for a product that has free shipping? So can you like elaborate a little bit better?
Hey, Alex, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, mostly with shipping, like the cost for pretty much any country is very low. So even if they don't provide free shipping, as long as it's like $1 or $2, and you make sure that you mark up your product, you know, at least 300%, maybe 400, depending on the price, then it's not really going to matter. It's still significant, and it's going to be $1 or $2, I think, for other countries. But if it is more than that for some products, then yes, definitely look for products with free shipping, because you know you don't want to be spending too much on shipping. Then that's going to leave you less money in your pocket. So yeah, I hope that helps.
I'm reading a question here. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, and while you read that, JR, the previous question with the bestsellers on AliExpress, I think that's a really good question. Just wanted to add my 2 cents to that.
Sure.
So if it's a bestseller on AliExpress, do I promote it? Well, it depends on the type of product that it is, because I see a lot of stuff there, bestsellers, and it's like general clothing and stuff, or like some caps or things like that. So you got to look at the product a little bit and see how you can target people. So if it's like I've seen some jeans and things like that that are bestsellers, but they're not really you know, novelty items. So it's going to be kind of difficult to target people. So when you look for products to promote, if it's a bestseller, it doesn't necessarily mean you should go for it, but if it's like a novelty item and you see a specific group of people that you can precisely target, then I would definitely recommend going with that product. So it's a good thing to always have, like I check AliExpress every single day, you know, just skim through the website, see what's new there, what are like bestsellers. So it's good to do that. Just check up on it a couple of minutes every day, and when you see something interesting, you might want to jump on it and start promoting it.
Good answer, good answer. Very true. Now somebody else is asking, they're saying here, you said when you test your initial 30 products, this is from Bradley. Hey Bradley, appreciate your question, by the way, that you may have a handful, maybe 5 or 6 that have a positive return. How do you know that the losing products are duds? and that it doesn't have anything to do with your Facebook targeting or your ad in regards to these products. Well, here's the deal. We're trying to give you the tools to ferret out those things. In other words, we're hoping you're not doing dud ads, because what you've done is you've gone in and looked at other posts and how they're doing it, and you're kind of copying those types of things. You could certainly do ads, and those products could actually be hot and you could miss them. That could happen. But we don't want to keep throwing money at it, because the odds are, if you've gone through all of the steps that we've told you to go through and it's still a dud, we don't want you to continue with that. We would rather, you know, you skip over a few winners that could be winners because you did a bad ad or whatever. Now, one thing I will say about bad ads and, you know, the way you're doing it, you have the opportunity to take those ads and send them to us, and we can actually analyze those ads on these coaching calls and help you out. And, you know, we can pretty much glance at it. I know Alex can. And I can look at an ad and go, well, gee, that you're missing something there, or you missed something there, and help you out with that. So, you know, you're going to miss a hot product every now and then. Sure, that's going to happen. You know, that's inevitable for happening. Okay, let's see here. Jessica, what question do you have on your end? I'm still looking at some of the ones I've got here.
Okay, so, yeah, I've got another one that was emailed in to us. And so Linda is looking at Google Trends, which is great. We've told them that's one of the things they need to be looking at. And specifically for horse lover gifts, she's seeing the trend is higher in the UK. So she wants to know, should she be selling in the UK instead of the US?
She sounds pretty smart to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you find that, you know, the interest level is higher in a geographic region, yeah, you know, you certainly want to target that geographic region. And, you know, that's the training we're giving you, so that, you know, you don't just send it out to the masses. You want to target these people, you know, as precise as you possibly can. So, yeah, that's a great question. And, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what you should do, and smart way to put that. Somebody's asking something about the blueprint offer. See, supported. Okay, the blueprint offer, what that is, guys, so you know, is we are sitting down with, you know, not everybody gets it, by the way. So, you know, those of you who didn't, I apologize. We can only spread ourselves so thin. We're trying to get you organized and show you the steps you want to go through. At the end of the blueprint offer, some people were saying, hey, we want help with this. We want, you know, we want you to build pages for us. We want you to do emails for us. We will certainly do that for you. You know, we charge extra for that, of course, but you don't need that, okay? That's not necessary. You have everything you need in Digital Cash Academy. It is all there. That is just for those people who don't want to go through and, you know, do all those steps themselves. That's all it is. If you are doing it yourself and you have questions about an email or sequence or whatever, you have our 100% support, and we can help you out with any of that. So don't hesitate to contact us at support at Digital Cash Academy. We'll help. We help everybody out. It's just, if we do the paid services ones, we actually do the work for you. That's the only difference. Now, nobody is going to run your business for you. So even, you know, you run through Digital Cash Academy, you've got all the training, all the support in the world, but we don't go out and run your ads for you and, you know, pick your products for you and do all that. That's something that you ultimately do have to do. All right, let's see. How important is the items picked by novelty items? One of my niches is pickleball. You know what? I have a friend that plays pickleball. I have no idea what that is, but he talks about it all the time. And the gear is available locally at Dick's Sporting Goods. Well, you know, you may want to do some things that surround pickleball, and that could be, you know, T-shirts. It could be some type of novelties. If it's something that somebody can walk down the street and buy in a store, you're going to have a tough time selling that product, because if it's a well accepted product and everybody knows you can buy it anywhere, they move away from, oh, that's a cool thing, to let me just go get the best price. So if your product, you know, is something that's easily available, that kind of knocks it down as far as something you want to promote on Facebook. It's got to be a little bit of a novelty item, something you can't buy local. All right, let's see. What else do we have?
So I have another one from the email.
Okay.
Okay. And this is about the profitability checklist. She wants to know if, when you're putting in the price, should you include the shipping?
Alex, you want to take that? That's a simple one, but, you know, Alex is just sitting there, so.
Sure, yeah. So I wouldn't recommend putting the shipping price. So you always want to say that shipping is free, except for when you're doing a free plus shipping offer. Otherwise, just always make shipping free. And there's actually a very interesting test with Amazon. I think they've done it on the French website. And the shipping there was a couple cents or less than $1 or something like that. And their conversion rates were actually much lower when they had that shipping fee. And then when they removed it and made it free, their conversions actually skyrocketed. So when I heard that story, I just, I don't want to test shipping. I don't want to play with that. I'm just going to put 0 because the margins are high enough for the products, and shipping doesn't cost us much anyway. So I would just go with the product price and always free shipping.
Yeah, and I always hear this, Alex. I just want to add on to that. Well, my product, I can't afford to do free shipping. So what would you tell them, Alex, about that? I mean, I know my answer, but it is a funny thing. I hear it all the time.
What do you mean by?
They're going to say, and I've run into this. They're going to say, well, my product doesn't have enough profit to include free shipping. I hear it all the time.
Yeah, I guess in your line of business where you do product the way that you do with Survivalcave.
No, I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about an individual.
Oh, with dropshipping, I mean, that doesn't make sense because we have high margins, so really, guys, you should not worry about that. Just
yeah, let me rephrase that. Charge more for your product. It's really simple. If you don't have enough profit, you set the friggin' profit, right? So that's a big thing. Somebody said they had trouble with the Ad Spy tool here. If you're having trouble with a download or something like that, all you got to do is send a ticket to support at Digital Cash Academy. We'll help you out with that. No problem there. Let's see, and type your questions in there. Feel free to do that. I'm scanning through some of these now. What else you got over there, Jessica? I'm sure you have some on your end.
Yeah, so we just got a couple questions from Lucy. The first one is, I'm interested in selling fashionable/trendy jewelry, but I'm not sure if I can find a specific niche of people following fashion for targeting my ads to. Is it possible to target such a niche, or is it too broad? What's your advice?
Here's the deal. You don't want to focus on selling jewelry. You want to focus on selling people who may want to buy that jewelry with a passion. So, we've talked about it some in the webinar, but let's say you target people who like horses and horseback riding. Then what you would want to do is find jewelry that would have horses on it, right? Because they're going to see that and go, oh, that's pretty cool. So you don't want to focus just jewelry. That's way, way, way too broad and too difficult to really do. You want to focus the passion, and we gave you that list of passions, but think of it in those terms. Think of what people's passions are, and then go out and find a piece of jewelry that may match that. Does that make sense? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody says they need their login details. This is D. Conroy. Hey, any of those type things, where you're having a little issue or something, just send an email to support at Digital Cash Academy. Oh, Lucy's there. Good. She understood that one. And we'll be happy to help you with that. Somebody said they had a question on pricing, but there's no question. Yeah. It just says question, right? Could you put in what that question is? Oh, dang, I hit return too soon. Okay, I got you. Let's see. Have y'all tested 97 versus 99? Oh, my God, yeah. 97 versus 99. If you use Dropify in Shopify, it's going to always default to 99. And, I've been in sales for just way too many years. I didn't want to say it. And I've tried that 97 versus 99, and I don't know if it makes any difference whatsoever. And I think, whatever you want to do is fine. I do think you ought to have it below the next number, but I don't think it makes any difference. I've read studies on both, literally, and they swear 97 is better, and the next study swears 99 is better. So I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. Somebody says, how would you handle defective products or returns? There's always going to be a return policy with every vendor there, and that should not be an issue. They don't want to upset you, so they're going to have a pretty liberal return policy there. And you can look at their ratings, and you can read what it is prior to selling that product. So that shouldn't be a problem for you. What do you got over there, Jessica?
All right, I have a second question from Lucy, and she says, if I wish to sell animal products, which niche is better to choose, animal lovers or pet lovers? or maybe separate cats or dogs? Can I select much broader niche as animal lovers, or should I be more specific?
You know, I always go with be as specific as you possibly can. I wouldn't say animals, I would say dogs, or I would say cats, you know, or horses or whatever. You want to be as specific as you possibly can. Because if you do animal lovers, you know, I like cats and dogs and horses and all that, but I wouldn't buy horse jewelry. You know, my wife likes, you know, all that stuff too, but she wouldn't buy horse jewelry. But she has nothing against horses, right? So you want to be as specific as you possibly can with that.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm looking at some of the questions I've got over here. Okay, somebody says that another niche I was thinking about is Dungeons and Dragons, and this is Mark, by the way. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? And the only product available through Aliexpress is polyhedral dice sets. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know Dungeons and Dragons. Should I go with just dice? Here's the truth about these things. If you've targeted a passion or a like, and you don't find products there, that should be a red light. That should, you know, I wouldn't go down that path. You know, if you can't find products, that means there's not enough demand, because, you know, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of products. And as much as you want to sell in that area, if the products aren't there to do it, don't try to force it. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Would you say the same thing there, Alex?
Yeah, exactly. You could always look for maybe doing some shirts and stuff, but I think Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know exactly how it's played and what it is, but it seems like it would be something quite competitive. So I would probably stay away from that.
Okay, all right. And that may not be the answer you want to hear. We're going to give you the real answers. You know, we're not going to encourage you to do something where we think you could lose some money. Let's see. What question you got over there, Jessica?
I have another email question. This is about, I think, the profitability checklist. It just says checklist. So if all of the boxes are checked on the checklist, then why run it? Isn't it obvious? Unless the price is too low, what does running the product through this do that we aren't seeing instinctively? I'm sure there's stuff going on behind the scenes that helps us, right? And so I think she's talking about the profitability checklist here. And we know that there is stuff going on behind the scenes.
Alex, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so basically what it does, it just skims through all the feedback and the store rating and the product rating and how many products have been sold, and then based on that, we make the decision. So I think, JR, like on the webinar, you even opened the old Excel spreadsheet that you used. So that's pretty much what we do in there. We just make that quicker for you. Obviously, if you check all those things, if you make sure markup is good, that's great. Then the only thing left is making sure that the store has positive reviews, and it also checks for shipping to make sure that we're all covered with shipping. So there's a few things that we automate for you so that you don't have to dig through it, and because that would take like 5 minutes. With the checklist, just takes a couple seconds.
Okay, and Joe, I'm trying to figure out your question here, and maybe I'm slow. It says, will you please talk about the commissions are paid from Shopify or after 30-day free look return policy? I'm not quite sure what that means. If you want to restate that, I'll be happy to attack that one. Let's see. In which case is it better to use product price plus free shipping? Well, it really depends on the product itself. You know, if you've got an expensive product, let's say you're selling a $60 product, that's your cost. Well, you know, that's a much better thing for free shipping, because you can't do that plus shipping and have $60 shipping. It wouldn't work. So, you know, that's really the defining thing. You need to look at it both ways and see which one makes sense. And if it kind of doesn't look sense to, you know, ship a ring and charge $60 to ship it, then you probably shouldn't do that. Let's see. I got access to Aliexpress site yesterday. I've been able to get on it yet, but I'd like to ask you how surfing, snowboarding, skateboarding do in terms of products, and what are the better low-ticket items?
He meant AliExpress, not Aliexpress.
Oh, Aloe. So what is Aliexpress? Okay, so it's Aliexpress. Martin, here's the truth. I don't know anything about those. I really don't. What you need to do is you need to go through and do some research, and I'm sure there's a market there. I haven't sold in that market, and I don't think, Alex, you've never dealt in those markets, have you?
Some stuff with surfing, but only like surfboard, which are very expensive, so not exactly the dropshipping style.
Yeah, here's what you want to do is you want to run a couple searches and see, go into Google AdWords and use their keyword tool finder and see how many people are searching the terms of the products that you want to sell. Look at that. Look at how many Facebook groups there are, how many people are in those Facebook groups. In other words, you need to kind of analyze the demand out there and then go into, Aliexpress and see what products are there that are inexpensive, because we want you to start with inexpensive. You can always move up to more expensive later. And you kind of you got to do research, but I don't want to, tell you something I haven't worked in that particular niche. Question over there from you, Jessica.
All right. So I've got a few questions here from George, so I'm just going to start with the top one. What is the minimum price available in an Aliexpress product that I'm going to sell? Do I need to choose the cheap price only and sell it on a higher price? Or can I also sell the higher price items?
Well, I'm a little confused on that question, but basically, I think they're saying, should I only sell low price items? You can sell higher price ones. I want to see you guys, if you're brand new to this, to start with lower price ones. I think it's, it's less risky. And then once you learn your niche, you can certainly move up to more expensive ones. We have customers that, buy some of our survival foods and they'll spend, $4,000 or $5,000. But I'm not going to tell you to go out and do something like that. We want what you need to do is get your feet wet. And somebody said in the beginning of this webinar, they said it perfectly, and they probably thought that it showed ignorance and actually showed intelligence. They said, I don't know enough to ask you a question. And that's so true. And here's the funny thing. The more you get into this and the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know. Because you can't know what you don't know, if that makes sense to you guys. Like you may not have a question about a pixel right now because you don't even know what a pixel is. You don't understand that targeting thing. And when I'm on targeting here, somebody else is asking a question on Facebook when I post an ad, is it only my Facebook friends and family that will see it? Because I have friends and family that sell makeup. Should I stay away from what they are selling? Well, there's plenty of market for makeup, first off. And I don't know why you'd want to hide makeup from your friends and family, but the answer is that you're going to target an audience, and unless they're in that audience, they're not going to see your ad. Because when you target, let's say you did, gosh, I can't think, makeup for clowns. Okay, we'll pick something really weird. People who like clowns, unless you're friends, you like makeup for clowns, and you found that audience out there, they're not going to see your ad. That's the whole point in targeting.
I think maybe to just expand on that a little bit, because I've seen somebody else ask kind of a similar question. We just haven't gotten far enough in the modules yet for you guys to maybe fully understand where we're going with Facebook advertising, but you're not advertising on your personal Facebook page. So we just haven't gotten to the point yet where we're creating a business page on Facebook, and that's where you're actually going to be advertising from. So that might help you understand a little bit better, Tracy, that you're not going to be sending out these posts on Facebook to your friends and family, because you're going to be sending them from your business profile on Facebook.
Yeah,
when we get there.
Good point. And it's funny, I just mentioned pixels, and the next question was about pixel. That's so funny, because I know 99% of you guys don't know what a pixel is. This person is having difficulty figuring out how to put the pixel on the store. I tell you, I figured out something a few years ago, and it was the most amazing thing. And the thing I figured out is Google and YouTube know everything, okay? So if you're having a problem putting a pixel on your store, it's really pretty easy to do. But let's say you have a Shopify store. I would type into Google how to add pixel to Shopify store from Facebook. And you're going to find the answer. It's probably going to be a video, and somebody's going to show you exactly how to do it. It's not hard, but when I say it's not hard, here's the truth. Nothing's hard if you know how to do it, right? So that's all you got to do. It's not a difficult thing to do, but I would just Google that, and I'm sure there'll be a video on that. It's a little bit much to do an answer on that without showing you a screen on this coaching call. But if you need help, you can send us a ticket. All right, let's see. Questions about Google Trends. If I look up my niche on trends worldwide and it's descending, but if I look it up just in the U.S. and it's idling, can I go for that niche or just target the U.S.? Alex, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so it's okay if like Google Trends, if it's not like a huge fall, then it's all right. I guess it depends on the product as well. I don't know what you're talking about now, so I'm not sure. But yeah, if you don't mind sharing what the industry is, and then maybe I can give a better answer.
And another thing I'll add to that, a lot of new people get so, I want to do this product. This is what I want to do. How can I make this product work? That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is go out there and find the need, the thing that the people are looking for, and fill that need. Don't try to force a product, right? Don't try to make it fit the criteria. Instead, just find that products that already fit criteria and market those. It's a whole lot easier to give people what they want than to force them to buy something you have. I've seen that for years in the automotive industry. They made crappy cars for years, and all people said is, I want a fast car that doesn't run on gas. And Elon Musk comes along and says, here you go. I'm going to charge you $100,000, and they're like, okay, I'll buy it. So for years the automotive industry has sucked because they haven't gave people what they want. And one guy comes along who's not even an automotive guy, and he's killing them. And I don't know. We live in San Diego, and I think every third car is a Tesla now. And, they're back scratching their heads going, how did he do that? How did he kill us so quickly? Well, what he did is he went out and found out that people wanted something, and he filled the need, which is the best way to make a lot of money online. Let's see here. I got a ton of questions. Let's see.
Yeah, I answered one lady earlier this week, and I think Joe is asking a similar question here in the question box. So what he's asking, and Joe, tell me if I'm not getting this right, Joe, but what I think you're asking and what I think might be beneficial, JR, if you kind of elaborate on what the dropship process exactly is, because Joe is wondering like how he's actually going to get the commission paid, which what I think he's meaning is the difference in what his customer pays and what he pays Aliexpress. So I think elaborating on exactly how this dropship model works financially, people are having questions about.
Here it is. You're going to set up your Shopify store with Dropify. What Dropify is going to do is it's going to integrate with that particular vendor, okay? So let's say you've got a product that you're paying $5 for, and you sell it for $25. What's going to happen is that customer is going to come to your store, and they're going to pay you $25, and you get your 25 bucks. And then you're going to click a button, and it's going to send that order to Aliexpress, and they're going to charge you $5. The difference between those two is what you get. It's that easy. So there isn't really a commission. You're collecting money before you pay for the product. That's the cool thing about it. Somebody else had a question in there about Facebook likes, and I want to address that because I get this all the time. Every time somebody friends me, they said they don't have that many likes. They're trying to get more likes on their page. One thing you don't want to do, and by the way, you could buy likes, but I don't recommend that either. One thing you don't want to do is if you have a page, and let's say it's about, I don't know, horse training, you don't want to go tag all your friends to like your page. It's the worst thing in the world you can do, and here's why. You want people in your Facebook group that actually have a genuine interest in horse training, and here's why, because what you're going to do with that audience later on is you're going to take that audience and you're going to create, and this is way above y'all's heads, but I'm just trying to tell you so you don't mess up your page. You're going to try to create a lookalike audience, and it's going to take all those people who liked your page, and it's going to go out and find more people just like that. And if you have a smattering of all these different friends who really don't have any interest in that, that's exactly what Google or Facebook's going to go out and find, and you're going to have failure ads. Does that make sense? And if you put in the comments that made sense to you, I would appreciate it. Okay.
So where did it go?
The comments are weird. They disappear.
Well, the question, Alex, that you were trying to answer a few minutes ago about that downward trending product, I don't know where it went, but I saw that Mark said that it's paintball that he's talking about.
Oh, if you maybe have this unchecked, show answer questions, because I just answered to Mark here privately, so maybe that's why it disappeared.
Okay.
So yeah, I told Mark that I would stay away from that because he might be able to make some money now, but what we want to do, and what we're going to be teaching you throughout the 5 steps, is to build something that can stay there for a long period of time and make you passive income. So if it's something's downtrending, you might spend a lot of time, maybe a year or two getting it to grow, and then it's just going to start falling, and you don't want to do that. So that's why I would stay away from downtrending industries.
And somebody, we get a lot of questions that are moving way ahead of what they've learned yet, but somebody's asked a question of Dropify over Oberlo. That really the difference, they're very similar. Dropify gives you a little bit more products, and I would tell you to use Dropify, not that it's that much better than Oberlo, but that is the sample that I'm going to be doing a video for you in Module 3. So if you have Oberlo and I'm showing you how to use Dropify, you're not going to get as much out of it. So unless you just have some allegiance to Oberlo, I would say use Dropify. Would you agree with that, Alex?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what, we focus in the videos on it, and we used Oberlo before, but there's some things that work better with Dropify, and we're going to cover all of this in Module 3.
Somebody's asking, this is an interesting question, Alex. Does it make sense to search for future estimated trends on a product? I'm not even sure how you do that.
I don't know. I haven't done that.
If you got a crystal ball, if you got a crystal ball, I want it. I don't know how to do that. Let's see here, Anita, what you got going here? She says that makes sense. That's good. I like when they say it makes sense. Somebody's saying that Dropify is not ready yet. I don't know about that. I was on
Dropify. Let me just type this in for you guys in the chat here. Dropify.
Okay, that would be cool. Cool, I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, good. I'm getting like comments that are positive. That's nice. So this person here, Tracy, let me check out what you got going. You're a founding member of a Facebook group for grieving moms. So it would not be a bad idea if one niche was memorabilia and tag. Oh no, this is really good actually. She's talking about grieving mothers. I mean, you could do jewelry, and you could have kids on it, and you could do all kinds of stuff. And some of the products you can actually have customized on down the road if you ordered in quantities, if you want to go about that. But yeah, if you can find a real targeted niche like that, grieving moms, yeah, because I know people who do veteran stuff. Police officer stuff, and man, if you get that passion going, I mean, they snap up anything they possibly can. Pet rescue, that type of stuff. That's really good stuff. So yeah, as long as you have a big enough audience, and you want to be, that's a really touchy subject. So just be careful. Don't offend anybody. Is the only thing I would tell you there. But it's a great idea. All right, let's see what else we got going here. Somebody says, thanks, love it, thanks.
I have a question that maybe Alex can answer. Do I need to copy the full title of the product from Aliexpress and paste it in the profitability checklist, or just the relevant words?
No,
the URL you paste it in.
Yeah, the URL.
Okay.
The whole URL.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, what it does, so you know on that, it actually looks at Aliexpress, so if you don't have the entire URL, it won't be able to find the product. So that's really important. Tracy's happy. Let's see here. Facebook are not fans of military or LEO. Does that affect ads? I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. I think they like the military, but I don't know. I don't know. Very cool information. Thank you, Mohammed. Gosh, I love hearing that. Do we have a promo code for Dropify? I don't. Do you have anything on that, Alex? It's really cheap.
I don't think I do, but let's see. Maybe I can come up with something, and if I do, then I'll let you guys know on Monday.
All right, and we're running a little short on time. We were going to do 30 minutes. We're at 40 now. So get your questions in if you got some more questions. Let's see.
I got one from Facebook here. Just wanted to give Lauren a shout out because she's been very active in the group, and it looks like she's making great progress. And she had a question here that I think went unanswered. So let's see. So she's saying questions about product picking for testing in preparation for Module 3. So should we have 10? And yeah, I've seen this question from other people as well. Should we have 10 variant products within the same niche ready for testing? Or should we have 3-4 products ready to test from 3 totally different niches? So it's a good question, and I would not do 10 products from the same niche. So see if you can maybe do 2-3 products from one niche, and then the rest can be from other niches, or you can do 1 product from one niche, but definitely don't do 10 from one niche, because you want to be testing out a couple of things and seeing what works better for you. So if you just go after that one niche and it turns out that it wasn't a good choice, then all of the ads are going to flop. So that's why you want to test out a couple of different industries.
Yeah, I think I wrote a reply on that on Facebook, and I said the same thing to him, Alex. But here's a big question that they really want to know. It's probably the question of the day, and it probably gets the award. And the question is it niche that Alex is saying, or is it niche that JR is saying? That's a great question. And the answer is, I'm going to go with niche because that's what I say, and I bet Alex is going to go with niche. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, I don't know how to say it. Actually, I don't know what's the correct way, so I just try to put an industry in there whenever I can, so I will avoid saying it. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with niche.
Somebody says here, I love this, you three are making this seem doable even for a newbie. Now that is either a compliment or it means that we don't seem real smart. I'm not sure what it is, but I appreciate it if it's a compliment, and if we're not so smart, then we're not so smart, I guess. I don't know. One or two more here. Let's see if I put the full URL when looking at Ali and not found, does that happen? Have you had that happen, Alex, where you put the full URL? Sometimes if you're copying and pasting, you lose part.
Or you may have like a space in the beginning.
Yep, that space will get you too. So you may want to check those few things, and if not, then just try another product because I know it does work. You know, I got to tell you, somebody was saying in the comments the other day, it seems like the people that are really active in the group seem like they're more successful, and that's very true. And it's not because they're active in the group. That's not it. What happens is if you get active in the group, you're going to learn more because you're going to be in there seeing stuff, and you're going to uncover things that you wouldn't have found on your own. So if you want to be really successful, I know people don't, have a chance to stay in there 8 hours a day or anything, but log into that group on a daily basis and just look at some of the questions. And I tell you, I'm a member of several different groups and meetings and masterminds and all that stuff. And it's like every time I go, I find out something I didn't know, and I think I know a lot of stuff. But man, it's like, do you feel like that too, Alex? It's like every day you find something.
Yeah, definitely.
So stay in that group, man. I mean, and don't go in there and ask you one question and leave. Stay in there and look at it. Somebody's having a hard time finding Dropify. You should just be able to Google that. And if not, you can send us a support ticket. We'll send you a link to it. Pretty easy. Let's see. John's laughing about our niche stuff. Yeah, niche. Got a compliment. I think it is. It just says compliment. I think that's a compliment. Okay. Alex, do you have any closing words here? I know you've really stayed on a lot longer than we should, but these guys are a lot of fun. I really appreciate them. And what's really cool? We haven't had hardly anybody leave. It's like everybody stayed, which is awesome.
Yeah, actually, we got more people now.
Yeah.
We're nearing the end. And someone's asking, they just joined, will there be a replay? So yes, definitely in the Facebook group and also in the members area. As soon as we process the video, we'll have it up there.
Very cool. Yep, we are recording it. So, Jessica, anything for anybody?
No, I don't think so. I think we went over quite a bit today, and I think everybody sounds like they're really trying to get. I think you're asking questions that we haven't gotten to yet in the module, and that's great because your interest is like it's what's going to drive you to do better and get the answers to the questions that you have, and it's really. Even though we want you to slow down a little bit, it's great that you're really trying to push ahead and you have all these questions that we haven't even gotten to in the modules yet. But yeah, I think you guys are going to do great just by the questions you're already asking.
I do see one here from Daniel waiting for approval in the Facebook group. When you want to join the Facebook group, guys, make sure that you're sending us, and I can see Jessica's checking on you right now. We're going to get you hooked up. Daniel Gerard. So we'll get you hooked up, buddy. But what happens is when you request, and we get requests all day long for the Facebook group, and we get a lot of requests from people who were never got into the Digital Cash Academy, and we have to tell them no. So what we actually do is we look at your email, and then we try to match that up against the members of Digital Cash Academy, and that's a manual thing that's not automatic, so it can take 24 hours or so, and if it's on the weekend it may take 48 hours, but it does take some time to get into that group because we have a lot of bogus people that want to get in it every day because there's great information there, and they figure, well, I don't have to buy the course and I can get all this great information. Well, no, you can't. And if that email is different from the one that you bought the course with, then we have to know that, because we're gonna decline you and say you can't get into the group. So I'm hearing a lot of awesome, great, I feel like I can do it. Let's see. Thank you. Hey guys, you're awesome. That was Daniel. Yes, we're taking care of you, Daniel. That's our goal. So guys, you have been just darn awesome today. We've really appreciated all the input. The group gets stronger every day, and I'm really looking forward to interviews. We're going to be doing those, and we're going to be interviewing people who are very successful online. And what's funny is we don't have to look far. We're already seeing that in our group. So we're going to be interviewing some of you guys, and you could be telling us how you did it, which everybody's going to feel good about that, because then they're going to feel like they can do it, and you can, okay? It's like that one person said, you know, listening to the three of us, it's encouraging. So I guess that's a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and close it down now. You guys have been awesome. This will be up on Facebook, and it will also be in the members area. And we will see you guys next week. We'll send you an email out. And until then, this is the end of the call. We appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.